This episode is going to be heavily edited. There's a lot of personal information in this episode that is both vulnerable and needs to be censored because it contains people's names and details about life that we do not necessarily want to be shared online. So we apologize in advance. If you choose not to listen to this episode, we understand.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't understand.
No.
You need to listen to this episode.
We hope to see you guys. He allegedly has his manifesto in his backpack. He has this whole Monopoly money thing, right? Like, he clearly wants people to get his message. And then you go and say that you are not guilty.
Or not guilty could mean I'm not guilty is I'm not guilty.
He was charged with domestic terrorism, which is usually not something that
white people are charged with. He's in the same prison as Diddy, and I'm not so sure how I feel about that. Why do they have Saul Goodman as his fucking lawyer, too?
I fucking love that man.
They got Saul Goodman as his damn lawyer.
Welcome back to It's Not Daddy, It's Papa.
Hell yeah.
We're back. It's our first episode of the new year.
Happy 2025.
Happy 2025. That's crazy.
2025.
They must have missed us. It's been like a year since they listened to our beautiful voices.
Yeah.
Or seen our beautiful, sexy faces.
Question.
You can now see us in like, what, 180p? Even higher.
We went from 720 to 1080.
Between the last first episode to this, we upgraded.
We did it. We upgraded. And something about the last couple of years is that no matter what the two of us have gone through in our partnership in crime, we've upgraded despite the fact that there is always
We're gonna hold space.
present adversity that tries to face us. Are you holding my... Okay.
No, have you seen? Oh.
I haven't. No. I like
the... seen the clip.
What is he doing to
the
my
holding
hand?
space. The holding space clip.
The
defying gravity.
Hold space to the... Yeah, I've seen Ariana Grande's fucking...
It's the holding space. We're holding space. We're holding space. What are we holding space for?
The fact that despite crushing adversity that we have faced, we have always come out on the other side. And I would like to make a disclaimer. Our camera doesn't fuck with us.
Yeah.
It freezes, it glitches. If you see that at any point, don't think
these
two fucking Muppets don't know how to set up a camera. Instead, think
we're recording it offline.
A microwave.
Right? Like, we stopped recording it online because we thought the issue might have been because we're recording it through software that goes up online. But no, we started recording it on offline software and it still glitches. Like, we don't get it. Are you okay? Are you glitched?
I was holding space for that.
Well, basically, if the camera cuts, you know who to blame. The CEO of Canon gonna get shot.
Speaking of shooting CEOs,
we're gonna shoot him on the
United Healthcare. What was his name? Albert, Phil, Charles,
Brian.
Fuck
Brian
you,
Thompson.
Brian Thompson.
He's dead. You don't gotta fuck him.
All right, he got shot
necrophilia.
by my. Oof.
Low bar. Episode 3, bro.
No.
For necrophilia.
I expected that. We saw that one coming.
Well, we saw you coming in that dead corpse, all right.
Luigi Mangione, that sexy, representing my people, that sexy Italian man, that did what, did what he must. So I saw criticism of Luigi Mangione because people were saying that the only reason he did what he did was because he had a spinal injury that stopped him from having sex. To be quite fair, if I had a spinal injury that stopped me from having sex, I would shoot a CEO too. Not the Budweiser CEO, but someone.
It's really funny because he's a good-looking guy, and that must suck for him. But he seems like he's having the time of his life, being paraded. He seems like he's having fun actually in jail, which kind of.
He's in the same prison as Diddy, and I'm not so sure how I feel about that.
And you know what's really funny?
It's on the
Their
DQ.
lawyers are married. Diddy's lawyer and
Luigi Mangione lawyer. Yeah, I heard that.
They're married.
It's irrelevant information though. The only reason they share that
funny,
is because they want to slander my sexy Italian stallion.
Comrade Luigi.
I love that.
Comrade
I know you didn't come up with that, but I love that.
I didn't know it actually. I don't know if he came up with this, but someone I know named Sam. He's a great looking guy too. But he came up with this. I had to throw that in there. He came up with we were talking about something, and he just threw in Comrade Luigi, just literally no relation to anything, and we all knew who it was, and I love that. You want to know what's really interesting about him? He answered this age-old question, and this is a question that you've had growing up throughout the years of damn, bro. The question is, are Italians white? And I think he answered it because he was charged with domestic terrorism, which is usually not something that
white people are charged with.
Unfortunately to say, Usually not something that white
He has to add that, unfortunately, to cover his ass, but we all... No, I'm playing.
No, but like, okay, but you have like these like guys who shoot up schools and kill like hundreds of kids, like,
right,
and they're not charged with domestic
terrorism.
terrorism.
Right, but Luigi Mangione is because he's Italian, and
But
okay.
he shot one guy. Like, that's not terrorism.
Not that you should ever do that, but...
But if our camera freezes, the CEO of Canon
is
getting his ass whooped.
Yeah, we're not shooting him just for the viewers. We're kindly... I don't know if you've ever seen
We're not
National...
encouraging anyone to shoot it.
I don't know if you've ever... I don't know if you've ever seen National Lampoon's Christmas, but basically, the motherfucker doesn't give the guy his Christmas bonus.
Oh, yes.
And the guy's cousin basically wraps the CEO up and brings him over. Doesn't harm him. And the CEO ends up saying, oh, I realized what I did was wrong. Yeah, it was pretty shitty of me. So sometimes you just have to Christmas wrap them and bring them to the homes of their employees, but don't harm them. So,
or Canon just give us a new camera. Or
can anyone. You send us a fucking... Can anybody?
Because this is a good camera. That's the best part. It's just like, maybe we're dumb. Maybe it's us.
Am I an unintelligent person? What defines intelligence? Would you consider me smart?
Yeah. You are.
Yes, Dumbledore said calmly. But like,
back to Luigi Mangione and whiteness and this idea of the construct of whiteness.
Right. Are Italians white? Let's break that down.
I think that, like, it sounds so dumb, but like race is a construct, and we put people into these boxes that don't really exist. I think it's like you are who you are, and like you don't necessarily need a label for it. But I do not think what he did should have been charged with the act of terrorism. If he terrorized anyone, it is other CEOs.
Right.
Like, we would have never said to not shoot the CEO of Canon if our camera freezes, if it wasn't for him.
Right.
I did.
Yeah, no air quotes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to tell for the people that are only listening to our beautiful voices, our sexy ass voices.
This is the thing. How do you guys cope with the fact that the two flyest people on the face of the planet have a podcast? Like, what do you do about at that point? Like, what do you do about it? You're the two sexiest people in the game.
People's sexiest magazine. Can we?
Right. Like, how do you navigate that? And before I go off the rails, say anything at all.
Oh, I was just gonna maybe circle it back to Luigi.
Yeah, let's talk about Luigi Mangione.
Because we keep saying we're gonna talk about him, and we keep like edging.
Well, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing.
Viewers.
You'll finish eventually. We'll stop edging it. He pulled out in the orange prison jumpsuit. They brought him to New York in an orange prison jumpsuit and orange matching slip-on Vans. There's a clear agenda to make him look as sexy as possible. Well, it reminds me a lot of the approach that the Menendez brothers took.
Yeah.
Of these polos, dressing up nice, presenting yourself in a way of like, I'm not a killer, even though I am. And Menendez brothers and Luigi Mangione have in common the fact that everybody knows they did what they did. It's not a secret. But those motherfucking eyebrows don't match.
Not to delve into conspiracy theories, but we're going to delve into conspiracy theories. Because...
the moon landing was real.
Yeah.
Don't go there.
But did Luigi Mangione actually shoot? Like, is it Luigi who shot? He's been pleading not guilty to all of these charges.
The thing is that you can't grow eyebrows that quickly. You just can't. Look at the picture of the Jack Skellington looking motherfucker from the CVS or whatever the hell that picture is from.
The Hostel?
Yeah. That's not the same guy because eyebrows don't grow in that quickly. If anybody's ever shaved their eyebrows off and regretted it afterwards because they don't grow back, you know they don't grow. Eyebrows are what they are. Maybe they grow a little bit, but not to the extent in 2 days where you got Luigi Mangione has a unibrow.
I just...
unifying America with his...
unifying the world. You know the thing about the Elon Musk jet tracker on Twitter?
I have no idea.
Basically, one of the reasons that Elon Musk brought Twitter is to, like, remove the account of this one kid that was, like, tracking his private jet everywhere. Ridiculous. But...
why is that ridiculous? Why can't we know where these private jets are going? I remember the story.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, the fact that he bought it, that was one of his reasons for buying it is ridiculous.
Yeah, I want to be able to buy a platform at will, so if you guys can donate to us, that would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, donate. I don't know how they can donate, but donate.
Literally hit me up. Texas, I'm accessible like that. Like, oof, I made myself sound like I was like a prostitute. I'm accessible like that.
Well, you can find me anywhere. Like,
find me like a brothel.
But Luigi, okay, my thing is that if it's someone who has such a clearly written manifesto, like he wrote on the bullets and I defend the pose, he allegedly has this manifesto in his backpack, he has this whole monopoly money thing, right? Like he clearly wants people to get his message, and then you go and say that you are not guilty. That's ridiculous. I feel like the person who did it would have been like, yeah, I fucking did it. They would have been proud of it.
Right.
You know? They would have like made it a whole thing. But no. It's like, no.
Not guilty.
I didn't. Not guilty. Not guilty.
Or not guilty could mean I'm not guilty as I'm not guilty. You know what I'm saying? I'm not guilty.
But the lawyer said that there was no evidence of him committing the shooting.
Doesn't matter because that's the legal aspect. When you say you're not guilty to something, you could be saying it could be interpreted as I don't see this as an offense worth being guilty of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I guess. But like, when the lawyer was questioned about if he committed the crime, he said he did. Right? I could see them going a route of like, he did.
Why do they have Saul Goodman as his fucking lawyer too?
I fucking love that man.
They got Saul Goodman as his damn lawyer.
Man, once you find evidence, this is all the evidence we have. Is that what he did with his hands? This is all the evidence I have. Fucking Saul Goodman asked, we need Saul Goodman in like real life, and I think this guy is like the first evolution. I want to see edits of him and Saul Goodman. Like when the trial starts like airing to the public, you know that's gonna happen.
I found out that it's a federal trial, so it can't be publicized.
I don't know anything about that. I wish it could be.
Yeah, it won't be.
I feel like there's a lot of like clips of it though, like not of the trial, but like of shit happening right now.
Yeah, but the actual trial itself, sadly, we won't see, and that seems so intentional because if you could see it. However, I don't know if I believe in the publicization of trials. Is that a word?
Yeah, I think it depends
because of what happened with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp was ridiculous because of how public that trial was.
But I don't think, was it an American trial or like, wasn't it London?
No,
it like
it was an American trial, I think. Oh, I don't know.
I don't know either.
But the point stands, like when you make things public and you let people get involved, when you let the public's opinion become involved, I don't know how secure your legal system.
It's a jury of your peers. That's the whole point. You know, like the whole point is that we're picking random people.
Well, how do you feel about what I just mentioned, the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp? I don't like the way that case went.
I don't like it either, and I don't think like that's a civil suit, right? I don't think we needed to know about that. But a criminal suit, especially something this public and that affects, honestly, affects every single one of us in some like roundabout way.
Right, because this camera's not fucking working, so.
Yeah, so the Canon CEO is getting whoop. Whoops.
Nothing's happening to him.
Nothing's happening.
National
We're gonna give him a
Lampoon's.
big kiss on the lips. It affects every single like one of our lives in some roundabout way. I feel like the public has a right to know. Like one of the big things that I believe in is like government transparency. Is that like we should be able to know what our government is doing and all of that.
Right.
And I think this is a really big thing because it affects so many people. You know, like it affects like in a roundabout way, but it affects every single person that's insured in the United States.
Yeah.
You know, it affects.
Well, domestic violence affects so many people too, and having Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's trial publicized could have been going to say the same thing. But I think the problem was that trial became bullshit, in my opinion, because it was an excuse to.
Shit on the bed.
Okay, like Johnny Depp also said he would do those text messages. Like, I don't know.
That reminds me, the Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively thing.
Right.
You told me you would tell me more about this because I like heard about it.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand it, and I honestly didn't really care enough to research
Look into it. Well, he's being sued by her for sexual harassment for the way he acted on the creation and set of It Ends With Us. I believe.
Also doesn't it have to do with the marketing? I heard part of it was that like I remember like It Ends With Us. Colleen Hoover, fucking hate her, but it deals with like domestic violence and stuff or anything like that, right? And part of it was that like everyone, I remember when this came out, but everyone was like criticizing her for not like what the fuck is the words like not being serious about it. Like she was promoting her like skincare line,
her hair products, yeah,
shit like that, and everyone was like shitting on her for it. And part of the lawsuit is about that as well. They're like Justin Baldoni did that. I'm like, I don't get how Justin Baldoni.
I haven't seen them. There's not much I could say about it other than the fact is, what was notable to me is the fact that Justin Baldoni is somebody who has marketed himself as like a man of women. Do you know what I mean? Like he quote unquote understands them.
I don't like that.
I let me tell you something. Like anytime somebody markets themselves as something, 9 times out of 10, that's what they're not. And
that's the thing that we were talking about genre of last episode.
Yeah. If you say you're one thing and you feel the need to say you are one thing, then that's not what you are. And that's kind of why I don't even want to talk about this too much.
Yeah.
Because the more you go on and say like, oh, fuck him or whatever, like, obviously we have to wait for the results to come out.
Yeah.
They're not there.
And we also just don't know enough
It gives
about it to
wolf
make, like,
in sheep's clothing. You know what I mean? Like, to stress a point so much to a point of, like, exhaustion, the way Justin Baldoni does with his thing, and the way you could even argue that...
Speaking of Justin Baldoni, you kind of...
I do look like Justin Baldoni. I just got my hair cut, and I feel like I look more like Justin Baldoni.
I don't really know exactly how he looks like, but I've only seen, like, a few
He looks like me.
But he kind of
I look like, yeah.
Yeah.
I've gotten Justin Baldoni, I've gotten...
You know who I got? I got someone from the Umbrella Academy. I'm gonna go, like, you keep entertaining people. I'm gonna go find the name.
Keep entertaining people, he says.
Keep the audience engaged.
Yeah, so now this is for the audience, and this is for my beautiful, lovely ex-situationship. This is for you.
You're getting compared to... Oh, it's like this one kid.
If you...
On Umbrella Academy.
If you love somebody, then let them go. I'm sorry.
Apparently it's like eyebrows up only because he has big eyebrows, but it's not loading. But if anyone that's like watching this...
Man, I need to pee.
Damn.
Yeah. I need to pee.
Can you wait or no?
No, I could listen.
Okay.
Listen, the world keeps spinning.
If the world was ending, I'd be over.
JP Sachs, we're still coming for you. I hope you know.
I got so upset. I hope he responds to us.
If you listen, man. Yeah, well...
I hope he responds to us. I'm like waiting for that okay. I think it might be this guy, but I don't know. It's something with like eyebrows up.
You look nothing like this fucking guy.
I know. Someone told me this. Unless it was some...
We have to stop telling people that they look like people that they don't. If I get compared to Timothy Chalamet one more time...
These look-alike contests are
You gotta stop. Or they had a CEO killer. Luigi Mangione look-alike contest. Like, fucking... It doesn't match. It's not funny. I don't care for it.
It stopped being funny, like, after a hot minute. It was funny for a little bit.
Right.
It was. But then, what I can't get over is this brain rot, like, idea. Like, have you seen the videos of, like, inviting the bitch who won the Timothy Chalamet with, like, the Rizzler and, like, all of them?
Yeah, also Timothy Chalamet... Ew. Timothy Chalamet...
Timothy Chalamet look alike.
Timothy Chalamet. Timmy T live from G25. Come on, bro. Can you sing with me?
Okay, let's go.
This is Timmy T live from G25. Statistics. No.
What do I do?
No.
Teach me. I know the video, but
no, because this is the type of shit.
Teach me live.
The background is statistics. And you switch to statistics after a minute, after about a bar.
Okay.
And then I start breaking into Miss Law and
when do I?
Miss Law and.
What do I do? I just keep
So
saying
look,
statistics.
this is Timmy T live from G25. Statistics. You go
Just cue me in, just like tap.
Okay.
This
is Timmy T live from G25. Statistics. No. You
Point
go.
it to me.
You go yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
First,
This is Timmy T live from G25. Statistics. Miss Law, you know what I'm saying? There's a musical element to that.
But when do I stop saying statistics? We gotta work this out off air and get back to you. But we'll be back with a fully composed music video.
We actually might post a cover soon, so.
We might. Of statistics? Why not? Why don't we post that onto It's Not Daddy's Papa socials?
This is Timmy T live from G25. Statistics.
We could dress up.
Statistics.
And everything.
Statistics.
Yes.
Yeah, statistics. Miss Law, and come on, bro. I'm not feeling
because
met
I don't
here.
get where we get.
I'm not feeling met here.
Okay, because you need to explain it right. Basically, viewers, you never told me when to stop the statistics. Like, do I just
Miss Law and come on, bro. Like,
okay, but when do I stop the statistics part? I go over it.
There's a creative freedom to this. You can go
So why are you complaining?
Yeah.
There's so much creative freedom.
Yeah, like okay.
If there's so much creative freedom, stop complaining. It's gonna snow this evening.
Is there a point where too much freedom is too much freedom?
There is, for sure.
So, we're gonna change the topic now.
Change it. We've been off topic for a little bit. We haven't figured out a topic.
In my life, I find that the element of having too much to do has given me a headache. And, like, I could do whatever the fuck I want. Realistically, free will, I could do anything.
Like Juicy, yeah.
He's gotta stop with that shit. He's gotta stop with that. Okay. With one of our editors that we hired off of Fiverr.
Oh, you want to talk about this?
Yeah, and if he sees this, he'll sue us for defamation. It's not fair to sue us for defamation because we're not gonna say your name out loud.
Because we really... Okay. I was gonna
Hold
go.
space for hold space.
I'm waiting.
Okay. No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say we ran into kind of a time crunch with editing, and we need like extra set of hands.
Yes.
So
We have an editor who's doing things now who's beautiful. Beautiful editor.
Awesome.
If they want to be credited and tagged,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, they're
But
in tag and all this.
A beautiful editor that we're working with right
check
now.
out socials. Everything is
Everything's on
under
socials.
the-
However, we were working with an editor before this beautiful editor that we found on Fiverr.
Oh my
And
God.
you go out there and you search up how to edit. You know, who can edit this for me? You find somebody. And the guy that we hired gave us this fuck ass podcast back. And
Okay, it was
such
bad.
ass. And I was talking about John Mayer. And you could find that in one of the last episodes. And I was
In the first
commenting.
episode, this was episode 1. The only episode
Yeah.
that was edited by this man was episode 1.
And I was commenting on the fact that he was labeled by the media as a womanizer and a misogynist. This guy that edited this put those words on my face.
He zoomed in
On my
Mateo
face, and
put the words kind of like about here, if you were on the video.
literally on my face, misogynist and
Womanizer. And I was in communication with this guy, and I crashed out. I was like, there's no better way to say this. I very much not in my character. Completely just derailed because I got so upset because for a lot of reasons. But that part pissed me off because there was nowhere else in the episode where he zoomed in and put those words. And the fact that he put them onto that. And I'm looking out for you. Give me your hands.
holding space.
Holding space. This is something that you've dealt with all your life for no reason.
Thank you.
No reason.
Thank you.
And this man, without knowing anything about you, decided that was an appropriate thing to put.
So, just for some context, for those of you who don't know me, which, listen, should be more. I want new things. 2025, I love everybody in my life, but it's time for a new interaction and new people and new situation that I've ever lived in my life. I have tried my best to come out on the other side saying I was clear and I was honest. Do you know what I mean? And I could walk away from anything saying I told the truth. You know, maybe that person doesn't fucking like me anymore, whatever, right? You know, but I told them the truth. I told them why things went the way they did, why I acted the way I did. And if I ever had time to catch up with you months later, I probably went back and I told you to your face or whatever the fuck I said, I could have handled that better. I was in a rough spot. That's the opposite of manipulation. You know what I mean? I've literally never tried to cut a corner in my fucking life. However, I've always had this perception of manipulative, cruel, aggressive, unkind. And it's the one time we hire somebody to fucking do an edit and he puts those words over my face and it's that's not who I am.
I'll tell you what I think part of the reason why people think that.
Yeah.
I think part of it is that part of what we were talking about with the daddy and the papa thing. I think there's so many at the time in our life that and the people that we were around when that label got presented
To me.
there was no one that was a papa figure but you basically there was no one else
Right.
that was that, and it was really weird to see a man that was in tune that knew
What emotions were.
Right. And I guess people felt threatened by that to the point where they were what is this in front of me?
Yeah.
So they choose to justify that knowing what is happening as bad.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's something that goes just beyond you. I think that a lot of people, when people point out the truth or know what's happening or
they're immediately
evil,
criticized, yeah,
or wrong or whatever bullshit like that.
Well, also you start to play into the label at a point because never the whole manipulate whatever, but I was labeled as somebody who's aggressive, which is something that I never, you know me,
never actually was.
Never actually aggressive, but because of the fact that I felt so dismissive in my own, so passive in my own life, and something that we were talking about recently. Well, we weren't directly speaking about it, but it made me think about it. There's a lot, if anything, I don't have my hands on the steering wheel. I wasn't okay with that, so you push back against it, and you're like, okay, everybody thinks I'm an aggressive person, but I don't even reap the benefits of that. I present myself as somebody who wears blame with pride. And I think because I'm so okay with, telling me that I did this wrong, I'm okay with that. And people take advantage of that and they're like, you did it wrong.
Yeah.
Just because I like constructive criticism doesn't mean you should just all put it on
put
me.
it on someone.
Yeah.
I think part of it was what I was trying to tell you before about the like the daddy and the papa line.
Yeah.
Like because you are a papa, and that people at the time couldn't grasp that concept.
What that means, correct?
So,
yeah.
It was really hard for them to deal with it, and you see the same thing happen in the media and everything. Like anytime you see someone that's knowledgeable or like in tune with stuff that's happening around them,
Yeah.
they get painted out. Not always, but like a lot of the times they get painted out as like the bad guys. Like I mean, not that you've seen it, but can I give you some slight spoilers to Wicked?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. And slight spoilers to anyone, at least for part one. But in Wicked, there's animals that can speak, right? And they're being silenced by someone for speaking because they teach like the correct version of history. Well, there's a lot of reasons like what they do. People don't like the characters in Oz don't agree with what they're saying.
Right.
Or like don't agree with their culture or whatever. And they later find out that the Alphaba, the green one, finds out that the person that was responsible for silencing them was the wizard, right? And when she finds this out and decides to tell the people and like rebel against this, what happens is that everyone paints her out as the Wicked Witch.
Yeah.
Like that's where like obviously it's a fan fiction, it's fake, but like I think this is
I like that
a good
though.
example
Yeah.
because it's so prevalent in media now. Like everyone knows Wicked because of the movie. And I'm not going to spoil anything that happens in part two. So yeah.
Yeah, I really like that though because I feel like something I've tried to do my whole life, and I appreciate you said my whole life. Haven't known me my whole life, but you know me.
But
you
I
understand. It's through knowing me.
Moments, yeah.
Yeah, you've seen me grow up, which is important. But like something about me is that whether it's visible or not, I've always tried my best, right?
Yeah.
And I've always tried to be somebody that people could turn to. But when I watch people that I have such potential to be good humans be terrible, I can't support it anymore. You know what I mean? I just cannot support it to a certain point. And when I have limits too. Everybody has limits, and I think people have watched me be kind, then push me to my limits. Then when I reach that breaking point, they're like, "There you are.
Yeah.
That's your true self." But it's like that's not really how that works.
You're still your true self whether you've reached a breaking point or not.
But
you know?
to look at me at my worst and then paint that and say that's who I am.
Yeah, that's wrong.
That's what I think has been done to me for like a really big part of my life because.
And that's the idea behind like cancel culture.
Yeah,
like, I
mean,
feel like you've been canceled, like quote unquote canceled several times.
I'm like,
but it's not real. Like that's not who you are. And I think there's definitely a level of like there's some cancel culture where like yes, this is how this person is. Especially in cases of like where it's like they did something heinous. Like,
yeah.
Like,
but I've never done anything
like,
specifically
you
wrong.
Done anything
you
wrong.
could ask anybody, what is it? And obviously this doesn't
No one can
matter.
point it out. No one can explain why this reputation. Like name one person that we know that can point this out.
You can. Also, how would you label the reputation?
I can maybe.
I can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like, oh.
It's complicated.
It's like he's a complicated person, aren't we all?
Yeah.
Isn't everyone?
Not helpful. And this is something that I really appreciate with some people, with some things. But it's like showing the perspective from both sides. There's actually someone that we want to sponsor us, but they need to reach out to. We need to reach out to them on email, or they need to respond. I don't know. But they are a news outlet that shows like news from both sides of the spectrum. And it's like anytime anyone has said something about you, it's been one-sided. Like it's only them who is allowed to control the narrative.
And mine has never been heard.
And like not that like it's like dumb stupid shit. Like it ultimately in the grand scheme of things means nothing. Why the fuck is my phone blowing up? It ultimately means nothing. But
and it needs to get clipped. And
we need to like clip just because it's just not. And thank you so much for our editors who are doing.
Who also have to now cut this out. We just gave them more work by thanking them, but.
No, they don't. They can keep this in here.
Oh yeah,
in fact,
guys,
keep this shout out. No, y'all deserve it. All of your socials and all of your
dinner is on me.
The bio.
If you're helping us, like I swear to God.
The link in the link is in the bio. Everyone, go check out the bio. You're gonna see all of our social.
Also, if you're a viewer who can prove that you watched all 3 episodes, dinner is also on me again. So if you're an editor, dinner's on me. If you watch all 3 episodes and can prove it to me, also dinner on me.
What do we tell them? Like, how do we prove it?
That if you watched all 3 episodes, you're sexy.
Yes, absolutely.
I love you. No homo.
Can we tell them to put a comment, like a thing in the comment section?
Yeah.
What do we tell them?
3 orange emojis if you've watched.
I feel like that's not specific.
But you have to go back in time for the other 2 episodes.
What? Yeah. They would have to watch all 3 episodes.
Let's figure this out not on the air.
What?
Oh, but then we have to.
No, this is great. 3 orange emojis. Let's just say 3 orange emojis. If you put 3 orange emojis, that means you've listened at least this far into the episode, which is great. But hopefully that also means that you listened to the first 2. We can't really prove it, but whatever.
We'll live with it. You're still sexy.
We'll live with it. You are sexy. Anyone can use this.
If you watch my shit, or obviously our shit, it wouldn't be mine. Our stuff, you're so attractive. It's beautiful.
Yeah, we love you. We give you a
no homo,
huge
obviously.
kiss.
For both men
as well. Homo as well.
No, I mean no. Whether you're a man or a woman, no. I can't say no, Diddy.
Like it's a platonic love, but it's
you're platonically sexy to me. How's that?
But it's a deep love. Like we would both kiss you on the lips.
Please. No matter who you are, if you're watching this and you want to kiss,
go.
Please
put it in the comment section.
Put in the comment line.
We want. It's not daddy, it's papa to give us a kiss. And if you put that in the comment section,
and you could pick let us know. There are options here. There's 2 of us. So just
options.
Who do you want to kiss you or both of us at the same time?
Whatever.
Yeah.
We love you.
Please just let us know. But yeah, back to that point that I was making.
Back to more serious topics.
The thing of putting a reputation on me frustrates me because now that I don't speak to people anymore that labeled me as whatever. I've outgrown them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't really know. Quite a few, actually.
No, I can't really think of that.
Whatever, you lose people as you get older.
I know one person that is still like semi-present
in my life.
In your life, that I'm gonna say yours because not even necessarily in mine. That like sort of semi had this perception of you, and I think it's played up as gone, but part of it is still like in the background because of the way that they talk about you to other people. It's really weird to explain this without putting names. I'm so sorry to our viewers, but this is a really cool topic. But it's just so hard.
I think something I dealt with was when I first met these group of people, and we're talking about one community that we were in of people.
Yeah.
A community that like is pretty like stretched around Staten Island of just like our graduating class. I'll put that out there, right?
Yeah.
So I'm talking about my graduating class, which I've obviously outgraduated and doesn't really matter anymore. But I started out trying to be as accommodating and kind to everybody.
Yeah. Which is important.
Understanding, and I got walked all over to the point where it was flipped around and I was labeled as an asshole. And it's like, how the fuck do you do that? How do you flip a thing like that? And that's how I made friends with our dear Nikita here, is he was the first person to look at me, take a chance to genuinely know me. He was watching me go through the deconstruction of a relationship that I was in that really contributed to a lot of this negative image that surrounds me, was the deconstruction of this one relationship. And I really appreciated that because I think we don't take enough time as people to just sit and say like, who is this person, and actually hear people's perspectives.
Yeah.
Because so many people have heard one thing about me or one thing about somebody else and been like, oh, he's this or he's that. You don't know that. You know what I'm saying? You really don't know that. You don't know who I am. And that's obviously frustrating, but there's also to what degree can I say that I was complacent in it? And to what degree can I say that my actions were at fault?
Well, there's a level of like everyone makes mistakes, but nothing that there wasn't a single action that you did that would have justified any of the response and backlash that you got.
Right.
You know, frankly, it was really like bad. Like
the way I've been treated in my life,
yeah,
of course, yeah.
The way everyone, even people in like authority positions that should have viewed everyone as equal, that had no relation to
who didn't know
any of it.
We have somebody who worked at our old school that said to him the other day that she didn't know that I was as articulate as I am, and she didn't see that in
Which
me.
I thought
it's
was
like, why you don't fucking know me at that point? You know what I'm saying? Don't. And she actually saw one of our videos, and I'll say this, like, I don't care, but saw one of our videos and saw me speaking and said that she had known me for those 4 years that I went to high school and never viewed me as somebody who was articulate. And I'm like, you had no idea who I was. So many people don't know who I am, and then they'll see things that I have online, like I have a writing account, I don't care, I'll say it. And I've had people that know me view that and say, I didn't know that you felt that you thought that deeply. You know what I'm saying? Or that you put that much into anything. And I'm like, Because you didn't take the chance to get to know me. You did not bother. And that's the same thing we do with everything. Is like, we see things for a face value, don't read the package, the label on the back, and fucking, like, that's not a good way. Media literacy and human literacy are dead.
The media literacy rate is like crazy. Like, there's so many books behind this, and I saw this really funny. One of these, this guy, Hassan Minhaj, he's a comedian. He's done like this Netflix show, which I think is great. You would actually really like it. It's called Patriot Act. It's a few years old now because it got canceled. But he did a interview with John M. Chu, and he's the director of Wicked. It has nothing. He does like political videos, or
right?
But he interviewed him because he really liked the book that he made, and he was like he recommended this book to people, and he was like, but I know none of y'all will read it because you're on YouTube, and YouTube is where literacy goes to die. And I was like, that's so real. Like,
it dies, yeah.
Like, no one I know can sit here and like pick up a book, like pick up War and Peace and read the entirety of War and Peace. You know, pick up this book. It's called The CIA and Imperial History, and read that fucking book. Pick up anything that we have
and just
like,
fucking read it.
Read it. Like, you recommended The Great Gatsby. How many of y'all have fucking read The Great Gatsby?
But also, if you haven't read it, there's no judgment in that. So, I'm gonna use my brother's girlfriend as an example. That's my sister-in-law. One of my favorite humans. I hope they get married. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's the best. But I made a joke. I said, if you haven't seen The Lord of the Rings, you're not a real human being.
Yes.
And I said it in front of her, and I hadn't realized that she hadn't seen these movies or read them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But she's such an open-minded person that it doesn't matter. Like, you, to me, you just have to be like, I just ask that people are receptive. You know what I mean? You don't need to be you don't need to understand. You just need to not judge. There's a huge difference. And I realized, like, oh, she's such an open-minded person that's been so open to getting to know me as her boyfriend's younger brother, and to take, look, I'm man enough to say, take care of me. Those two those are my adoptive parents. But she's made the effort to get to know me and take care of me in a way that, like, you don't need to know the topic. You don't need to know me. You don't need to read any of these books. It doesn't fucking matter. Everybody has their own life and way of doing things. Be open, though, to, like, understanding, because that's just the thing that's frustrated me so much, to the point of, like, I've met people and they've been like, oh, you. I'm like, what the fuck? What do you know about me? Honestly, like, what do you know about me? It's like, you know.
No, but I think part of that, like, I hate to relate it back to, like, reading, but, like, okay, maybe she didn't read these books, but she's definitely read other stuff. Like,
yeah, it's like 1984, though. Incredibly intelligent person.
She's still very intelligent.
Yeah.
And it's like,
that to the point where the specific book doesn't matter. That's
just
why
the fact that you could do that and, like, be able to take a piece of text and, like, read it and understand what is being presented. You know?
That's the thing, too. I also think we're not used to men being complicated.
That's the other
We're not
thing.
used
to really big thing that
not used to men being complicated,
made
and it's
people
like
afraid. They were not like afraid, but like maybe the word is afraid, because it's like they saw someone that was like knew not even knew more things. That's not even the word, but like was more in tune with their own emotions, and they were like, this is a threat.
Yeah, I think.
And it's like, it's not a threat. This is just society hasn't allowed like you to be able to.
I think masculinity has been weaponized by men, but like weaponized so much to the point where someone like me, who to be able to perceive others as a man, is a fucking weapon. You know what I'm saying? It's viewed as a weapon. So it's like, am I supposed to act like an idiot or not perceive other people or not do anything? Like, it's also, they take your power away as a person by telling you that your perceptions are wrong or that your actions are wrong. And because I've been so open about, like, you can tell me when I'm wrong, people run with that. You know what I'm saying? People will run with that because, listen, no one's perfect, but
there's ways that you can critique people that don't diminish their qualities.
Yeah.
You know? Like, there's definitely, like, you can give someone feedback and not take away, like, part of giving good feedback and part of, like, giving good criticism about anything is that it can't all be negative, right? Like, there's stuff that everyone does that are both negative and positive. It's not black and white. You physically, like, I cannot think of a single action that I've done that was solely negative, even though it might have been bad as, like, a...
No, because then good comes out of a lot of things.
Right? Although you said this wrong, this thing that was disrespectful, it was true, or, like, whatever the hell, and you layer it with a layer of, like, the positive aspect.
Positive truth, yeah.
And that's just the way you give feedback in general to people.
Well, also, I think when you tell somebody that, like, the sky is green enough times, it becomes green. I think, like, in
that's
my
the
late...
1984 mechanism of, like, telling...
I think when I had been with our graduating class and, like, known these people so much to the point where they had put this on me, I just didn't give a fuck towards the end of it, and I was like, sure, if you want to call me that, I will play into it, and I'll call you. You lose a sense of self to the point where it's just like, okay, if I'm an asshole, then I'll play into it. And not to, like, say everything bad I've done in my life was somebody else's fault, but I would never put that. You know what I'm saying? I would never do what was done to me growing up and, like, in my life to anybody else. And I even look back on people I've lost. I still have good things to say about any of them. Yeah. All of them. You know what I'm saying? Every single person in my life that I have lost, I have a wonderful thing to say about them.
Yeah.
More good things than bad things.
Which is better than most people
can do
say
for me.
For anyone.
Like, and it's like, ugh. This goes not to say that I put, like, rose-colored glasses on.
Okay.
I can judge the negatives while looking at them as positives. And the best way to put that is just, like, all I've ever asked is that people do the same for me.
Okay.
And they don't. And that's fine. You can't expect yourself from others, but it's also just, like, why are we so content with experiencing a relationship with a person, whether it be a friendship, whatever, and saying that person was terrible? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like doing that. People have fucked me over so hard.
And you still...
And I've said she's a wonderful person at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I wish her nothing but the best.
Yeah.
I don't like sitting there and saying, oh, I was mistreated. Mm-hmm. I don't like it. I really don't like to say that anybody was... And the other day, a friend that I had in high school that I really disliked, towards the end of high school, he came up in conversation with a mutual friend, and I literally just said, like, I wish him the best. Yeah. I hope he's doing good, you know? I don't think many people do the same for me, but it's also just, like, you guys... People lack the sentimentality to analyze things. You know, you have to be a little bit sensitive, I think.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think there's just a level of sensitivity that's lacking in society. And not to bring it back to, like, the daddy and papa thing, but it's definitely, like, part of it is that daddy and papa thing.
Yeah.
Of, like, people aren't, like, there's a lot more daddies in the world than there are papas. Yeah. And it's, like, the people that we glorify end up typically looking like a daddy figure more than a papa figure. Like, can we think of many papa figures that are glorified? Not really. Like, that when we were making our list, we struggled to come up with
really difficult
with a lot of papas, but the daddies are, like, through the roof. Like, look at, like, politics is a really easy example because you could sort of kind of draw on party lines. But, like, I can't think of a single male that is papa.
Well, yeah, that goes back to complicated men are not allowed to exist. Complicated women are also not allowed to exist because people can't handle it and understand it. Then you can't understand complicated men either. So at this point, complicated people can't exist because of the, like...
Yeah. Though I do want to say, like, as, like, not to, like, say, like, oh, like men had such a hard time, but, like, I feel like people are more understanding of complicated women, especially now. Not, like, super much more understanding, but, like, a little bit. Like, you could
there's still a degree to no matter what. If you're complicated, you're put under the bus. You know?
Absolutely. But if you look at, like, a complicated woman and a complicated man, people are much more likely to accept a complicated woman than a complicated man. For sure.
Yeah, okay. Because the complicated man is weaponized, but I've never in my life been weaponized. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm a complex human being like everybody else. And I think, like, yeah.
I think there's a level of complexity to everyone, and people just have, like, struggled to understand.
It also comes down to this, like, in any social setting, if you present yourself confidently and proudly enough, somebody will try to take you off of your...
Confidence is, like, the number
nobody
one
fucks with it.
To, like, bolster... Because, okay, I hate to bring them up, but we're going to bring them up. But, like, Donald Trump is, like, you could tell that this man gets very, very hurt. Like, he's very egotistical, so he gets very hurt when someone says something that not only doesn't agree with him, but also, like, puts him on a lower setting. We saw this in the debate when, like, Kamala Harris said that his rallies were small.
Right, yeah.
Right? We see this with people saying, like, President-elect Elon Musk, and it becomes, like, this whole thing because he's, like, no, I'm the president-elect. Like, it's me. And it's like whether, like, it is him or Elon Musk pulling the string. Like, that don't matter. Like, that legitimately doesn't matter for my point. But, like, this man gets so upset over that. And it's very similar to a lot of other people that, like, are, like, present this persona of confidence, but are just egotistical and, like, cannot exist with the public bolstering them up.
Yeah.
You know, the second you say anything negative about them, it's...
Well, my point was I've presented myself confidently in my life to a point where it pissed people. It bothered people.
Yeah.
Like...
And people try to pull you down from that pedestal.
And, you know, at times it becomes ego, for sure. That's everybody. And we all have, you know, ego's not necessarily a negative thing. Everybody has ego.
Well, it's not a negative thing, and I hate that people have made it a negative thing.
Well, being egotistical is negative, but ego is just a sense of self. Like, by definition, it just means knowing who you are. And ego could be negative, positive. It's the same thing as the word consequence. Consequences are not necessarily bad. There's such a thing as a positive. The word it can have both meanings. And
it's a denotation. What is it?
Etymology. Yeah.
Connotation, denotation. I don't remember what
connotation is. Yeah. It has a negative connotation, but it's not. And I think, like, to see a man who presents himself confidently, because of the fact that most confident men are garbage, scares people, I guess.
Because, like,
I'll suffer the you know, like I don't know.
Like, the only men that are, like, present themselves confidently, like, what, Andrew Tate. Like,
he's a piece of shit. Like, yeah.
Like, I can't really think. Like, I can't think of any. Like,
even then, like, everybody loves Andrew Garfield. I love him too, but he presents very sheepishly.
Yeah, like, not as confidently.
No.
The only person I can think of is, like, Timothy Chalamet. Honestly,
he presents
very confident.
Confidently, yeah.
Like,
but he's but also
like,
Timothy Chalamet acts.
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, well, he's screaming Bob Dylan into a microphone at his own premiere. But the thing is, he acts like he doesn't know anything. Not unintelligent, but he still acts like he's not the smartest guy in the room. Yeah, but he went to NYU for 2 years for anthropology, Columbia and NYU.
He went to NYU because
he did a term at Columbia.
Wasn't the whole thing that he gave everyone chlamydia at NYU?
Yeah, he did. I think he did a term at Columbia, then transferred to NYU. But he never presents himself as somebody who knows he's a smart guy. Will not show you that. If he did, he would be considered an asshole. You have to hide certain things sometimes about yourself to not threaten people, and that's sad, like
because, like, he's like, he's very intelligent,
very smart,
and you could tell that, like my favorite thing is that, like, you can tell when people do, like, he's an actor, but you can tell that there's, like, more in his brain,
in his head,
because of the way he approaches roles is very interesting. I know someone that their major is biology, but they're minoring or therapy. It's like a human studies, right? Like some human studies thing, and they're minoring in theater because what they said is that like they want to explore the human condition.
Right.
And they were like, this is another step to explore it emotionally outside of.
That's really fucking cool.
And I was like, that's really
cool.
And they're doing, like, a science. They, like, want to be a doctor, like a biologist, I think. I don't know.
But theater is an approach to understand people. I love that. That's great.
I was like, wait, I fucking love this because this is exactly, like, what it is. But, like, you could tell that's Timothy Chalamet. I froze. My bad. Approach to that, and I think that's very smart and very cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to... I just got a text message from Manscaped. I bought, like, one product from them, and I'm on their, like, mailing list. I'm going to click stop, because until they sponsor us, y'all aren't getting anything.
No, I think we could wrap this up, honestly.
Can we get sponsored by Manscaped?
Can you guys sponsor us? Also, what do you guys think about the judge? And something I want to say is I didn't mean in this episode to put myself on a... I think the more you talk about the way people negatively view you, the more you become that.
Yeah.
That is my woes with everything I have just said. Is that I think I've brought it back to life when it didn't necessarily. It's not alive, but sometimes you bring back the, there's a quote, and Obama, this is your homework for viewers. Who said this quote? Because I always forget it. Obama paraphrased, but
we've done this before.
The past is never. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
What is it? Me and you have done.
The past is never dead. It's not even past. Who said that, right? The past is never dead. It's not even past. Yeah. So that's one of my favorite quotes to bring to this episode. And do we like bringing back things that bother us?
It's from Requiem for a Nun. is the source of Faulkner's.
William Faulkner.
William
That's
Faulkner.
okay. It's his quote. But William Faulkner said, "The past is never dead. It's not even past."
Just FYI.
I'm sure he is. That's one of my favorite quotes. But I don't like.
Look at this man. Can we get a picture of it? It's on his.
Yeah. Can you guys put a picture from the top? But the past. Yeah. William Faulkner said, "The past is never dead. It's not even past." And I said that for the third time. But the reason I did is because. So it's clippable. so that you guys can clip it for TikTok. Now you can't because I'm talking about it. But the thing with that is, like, I don't like bringing up things to keep them alive, but sometimes they're still with you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
can we put a disclaimer for this episode and we can.
All right, bye y'all. Thank you for listening.
Bye guys. Thank you so much for listening. There's probably a lot of cuts to this. We are so sorry. We love you. We hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave comments down below about what you guys thought.
And again, if y'all want to be kissed, please hit me up. I was serious about that.
We were very serious.
I will kiss you, any of you.
No. Crazy. We were, follow our socials. What is it? Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify. You can rate the show on Spotify. Give it 5 stars. That really helps us.
Love y'all so much.
Like, subscribe, sign up for our newsletter to get breaking news every Tuesday morning. And have a great rest of your day.
Bye, baby.
Bye, guys.
Bye, babies.